I believe among the other Hungarians who are immigrants, the Hungarian immigrants are important people to help build a multicultural nation in Canada. My journey from Hungary to my new home in Canada has had its ups and downs, but has ended well. I am satisfied that by God's grace I have done well for my family, for myself, and for the Hungarian ethnic congregation in Canada. One of my best and the most successful decisions was 55 years ago when I came to Canada. I had to trust in God that He had a purpose for my life, and I was willing to let Him use me as an instrument of His service to Canadians and immigrants. I am so grateful to God that all the people who have been kind enough to assist me in various ways and help me in my decision making over the many years. My wife and I have been happy to serve the Lord in Canada and to the Hungarian ethnic people here. I remember it was a very difficult time when we made the decision that we should escape from Hungary into Austria. Being a young man, our life has been in dangerous situation because the Hungarian Revolution just ended and the Russian people had some ideas, the soldiers and others had the ideas of gathering all the young people together and take them into a camp. When we were aware of this, I learned that I have no other choice but to escape from Hungary into Austria. And it was a very dangerous situation because they were at the border, hundreds of Russian tanks and soldiers shooting the people who are going through that difficult time and escaping. And it is by God's grace that I went through with others and escaped into Austria, and spending there for about a week or so, soon I have been transferred into England. And I remember on December the 6th, 1956, I was in England for the first time in my life, and we have been very thankful. And from England on 1957, April the 23rd, I flew from Scotland to Canada, and that was a very interesting journey. When we got to the plane in Scotland, there were a group of Scottish pipe bands, and they were coming to Canada for a concert. And all the way through on the plane, they were practicing. So we came to know a lot of the Scottish hymns and songs. Well, the future looked very unknown. First of all, we were in a situation that when we left Hungary, as you know, the communist system was in Hungary for 50 years, and we were not allowed to learn or to study any other language, foreign languages, except the Russian language. So that created some problem when we left Hungary and we went, or other people went to different countries. The first priority that we had to do is study, and we had to learn there is no other way around, and that is a must. Many friends or people that I came to know, they give me ideas and suggestions that you have to go to school, and no return but school, go to school. In my family, for centuries they have been ministers and very dedicated people who worked in the church. And my father also studied ministry in Hungary. And it is very interesting, when I escaped from Hungary into Austria, I prayed to God that if everything goes well, I will dedicate my life to the service of God. And it happened, and for many, many years, I was not able to follow up the situation because I went through some difficult times. But the calling of God is always individually. It has no time or no locations. When God calls you, the calling is usually two-sided. It comes from the spiritual side, comes from God, and then later on it's confirmed by the congregation or the church where you belong to, that they are with you together, suggesting that you are spiritually fitted into the ministry. God makes the preparation. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes we don't understand why we have to just wait and wait, yet in God's time it's happening. First of all, I like to mention that my wife and I have been very much dedicating my time to the Hungarian ethnic people in Greater Vancouver. And we like to continue this service because there's a tremendous of needs to the younger generations, to the middle class people, and as well as to the elderly people, to provide service to them, to give them encouragement, and most of all, to provide all the spiritual needs that they need to have. And together with my wife, I believe that our ministry has been blessed, and it is by God's grace that He will continue to use us and to be an instrument of His. When we're talking about ministry, we may say that it is much different, the Canadian ministerial work, than the European ministerial work. Very often we have to deal with the physical, social, and emotional and spiritual needs of the people. And we never know when we do have calls, new people coming to city of Vancouver, they're getting off the plane and they have no place to go to, so they're calling the ministers or the Hungarian Reformed Church of Vancouver, so they would have some kind of a place to stay. Then there are the new immigrants who have been looking for a job, especially if they have a permit. They're coming to come to us for help, and we provide help those who have a permit to go to work, either in the industry, such as the house buildings where they have new homes, or they're planning to have new homes in the building industry. Comparing to the ministerial responsibility in Canada, in the diaspora, it is much more difficult. In our country, you basically provide services to the people, the spiritual needs. They come to the church and they worship together, they have fellowship together. And here very often we have to travel hundreds of miles away where the next Hungarian development or populations are, in the city of Kelowna, for example, or in the city of Seattle. Our ministerial work extending to between Vancouver to San Diego, for example. We go to meetings and we provide services there. We have small mission fields where there are no ministers, so let's say every 2 months or so we provide a service. And in the whole country, basically the minister is staying with one congregation. The church is there, but here in Canada, because we have only limited ministers, we have to share the services, and we are providing this mission type of a service to other Hungarian community of faith. Thank you very much for inviting me to your TV show and TV program. And as a minister of the Hungarian Reformed Church of Vancouver, we do have, I want to share this with you, we do have a lot of visitors and a lot of immigrants looking into Vancouver, city of Vancouver. It's a beautiful place to live, and it is our hope that we continue to provide services to those who are in need. This is my story.